Stand for the flag salute.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Open Public Meetings Act statement, please.
Pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice of this meeting was forwarded to the official township newspapers, posted on the bulletin board and township website on November 3rd, 2022. This meeting is being videotaped and will be on Channel 9.
Roll call.
Mr. Doyle?
Here.
Mrs. Slade? Here. Mr. King?
Here.
Mr. Marsh?
Here.
Mayor Bruno?
Here. Okay, get a motion to open the first public portion for resolutions and ordinances below.
Make a motion for the first public portion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Dave Marshall, 67 New Road, Malaga. Just have a question about the resolution 24023. I was wondering if I can get a little bit of enlightenment on that, on what that entails or what's going on there.
It's closing out old accounts, correct?
Correct.
Old stuff that was on the books through the audit has to be closed out and canceled.
All right, because at least from what I can see of that, it looks like that was all paid for almost that exact same amount. I found.
So what happened was, this has come up in a couple different audits. Speaking with Bowman and Associates, these are accounts that were established that had money in them. The money was never used, so we have to actually close them out. There's creating of some other accounts, and then the ones that never should have been created, that money was put into for these different things, are being put back into the general fund. So any money that's being taken out through cancellation in 240 is then being put back into the general fund or actual trust account, which is how we have to do it by state law.
Okay, the reason I was asking, like I said, when you pull up that, the Weymouth Road Phase 3 portion of that, it shows that we paid for dump trucks and plows with that money at one point on one of the resolutions in the past. Then it shows later on that we used that same money for a section of the road. But it doesn't make, why do we pay for equipment with a road funding?
When is that resolution from?
3813 is when this started.
We weren't here for
I understand that, but it's still our township.
Right. So there's plenty of things like that. I know Ms. Halpern was up last time asking about money that had come through for Malaga Lake Park. And we found where some of it was spent, and the rest of it, we do not know where it went or what happened to it. We're still looking for it and trying to figure out, but that's a lot of things that happened here long before our watch when we came in 2 years ago.
Right. No, I know it was prior to everybody being here, but it just
This is why everything is done this way. So there's no stuff like this before was just closed out or disappeared and gone. Everything is done by resolution so that we can track it back. So 10 years from now, somebody can stand up there and say, "Oh, here it is right here. Here's where it was.
Right.
Here's what they did with it. And here's where it is now."
Okay, so even though it shows it was for road funding and we used it for equipment, that doesn't create any problem, needs investigation or anything?
Well, it would. We're gonna have to look at it through the auditors, but the state's gonna turn around and probably tell us we have to take money out of our current fund to replace it, or the road projects were paid. So what happened was there were quite a few stealing Peter to pay Paul and then putting money back to Peter, but that's not the way you can do it.
No, I know that. That's why I'm asking. I just
Yeah.
figured before the board members approve it, I wanted to make sure they knew there was some discrepancies here that don't make
Yeah, no,
sense.
all of these are straight. All of these are here.
Right.
And
Oh, I'm not doubting what's on it today. I'm talking about previously, I said just,
oh no, there's plenty of that.
there is. All right, thank you.
Okay. I'm not gonna let you throw stones about 2013.
I just said we weren't here, that's all.
But the fact is, 2013, if that's when some of this was taking place, it's taken you 10 years to find it, and you've been up there for how many years? So don't revert back saying just because you weren't here. So these things have happened maybe in
That would
2013.
be the job of the auditor, correct? To find it.
Well, the auditor, whoever your professionals are at the time.
And we're just fixing it now. It's not a knock at anybody. We weren't here.
You've been here for how many years?
I don't know, too many.
Yeah, I agree. Mike was on some of the boards. Heather's been here for a couple of years.
Too many, she said.
Right. So this is her last, but she's also been here. So you've been around, and we've been through a couple different administrators.
Yeah, but it wouldn't, I mean, I'll take it as the administrator, it wouldn't fall on them. That stuff that Mr. Marshall's talking about, in finance, is the CFO and the administrator. That's not the committee. Because they're only giving the information as we supply them, and a lot of that stuff wasn't supplied. So I know your thought process there, but it wasn't on the committee. It was the people that were running the house on the day-to-day.
So it doesn't just revert back to 2013. It goes from 13 to 23, which was 10 years. And I'm sure you're going to find more yourself. But it's a 10-year span, and there's been probably 3 or 4 of you since then. I don't even know how many administrators we've had. Yeah, I don't know how many.
But it stopped in 22, I can tell you that.
23, that's where we are now.
Make the motion to close. All in favor?
Aye.
Make a motion to approve correspondence and reports.
Motion to approve correspondence and reports.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Make a motion to approve the minutes from October 24, 2023.
Motion to approve the minutes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Time off, Mark.
Make a motion to approve the bill list.
Need a motion to approve the bill list.
Mr. Doyle? Mrs. Flynn?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Marsh?
Yes.
Mayor Bruno?
Yes. Making a motion for resolution R 23723, requesting the Director of the Division of Local Government Services to authorize the insertion of a special item of revenue in the 2023 budget of the Township of Franklin Bulletproof Vest Partnership.
Need a motion for R 23723.
Mr. Doyle? Mrs. Flynn?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Marsh?
Yes.
Mayor Bruno?
Yes. Making a motion for resolution 23823, requesting the Director of the Division of Local Government Services to authorize the insertion of a special item of revenue in the 2023 budget of the Township of Franklin drive solar or get pulled over.
Need a motion for R 23823.
Mr. Doyle? Mrs. Flynn? Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Marsh?
Yes.
Mayor Bruno?
Yes. And, making a motion for resolution 23923, requesting the Director of the Division of Local Government Services to authorize the insertion of a special item of revenue in the 2023 budget of the Township of Franklin JIF Safety Incentive Program.
Need a motion for R 23923.
Mr. Doyle? Mrs. Flynn?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Marsh?
Yes.
Mayor Bruno?
Yes. Resolution 24023, authorizing the cancellation of grant receivable balances and or grant reserve appropriation balances.
Need a motion for R 24023.
Mr. Doyle? Mrs. Flynn?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Marsh?
Yes.
Mayor Bruno?
Yes. Resolution 24123, authorizing the CFO to close the following performance bond trust account and refund the property owner.
Need a motion for R 24123.
Mr. Doyle? Mrs. Flynn?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Marsh?
Yes.
Mayor Bruno?
Yes. Resolution 24223, approving and authorizing the sale of township-owned properties known as 80 MacArthur Avenue, Block 3602, Lot 10, 95 MacArthur Avenue, Block 3601, Lot 1.
Need a motion for R 24223.
Mr. Doyle? Mrs. Flynn?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Marsh?
Yes.
Mayor Bruno?
Yes. Resolution 24323, authorizing the Chief Financial Officer of the Township of Franklin to transfer certain funds from and to specific accounts in the 2023 budget of the Township of Franklin.
Need a motion for R 24323.
Mr. Doyle? Mrs. Flynn?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Marsh?
Yes.
Mayor Bruno?
Yes. Resolution 24423, requesting permission for the dedication by rider for the Franklin Township Community Center donations.
Need a motion for R 24423.
Mr. Doyle? Mrs. Flynn?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Marsh?
Yes.
Mayor Bruno?
Yes. Resolution 24523, requesting permission for the dedication by rider for the Franklin Township train station donations.
Need a motion for R 24523.
Mr. Doyle? Mrs. Flynn?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Marsh?
Yes.
Mayor Bruno?
Yes. Resolution 24623, requesting permission for the dedication by rider for the Franklin Township Police Canine donations.
Need a motion for R 24623.
Mr. Doyle? Yes. Mrs. Flynn?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Marsh?
Yes.
Mayor Burton?
Yes. Resolution 247-23, authorizing cancellation of various trust fund balances as required by the Director of the DLGS.
Need a motion for R 247-23?
Mr. Doyle? Yes. Mrs. Flynn?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Marsh?
Yes.
Mayor Burton?
Yes. Resolution 248-23, authorizing tax collector and chief financial officer to refund taxes paid in error.
Need a motion for R 248-23?
Mr. Doyle? Yes. Mrs. Flynn?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Marsh?
Yes.
Mayor Burton?
Yes. Resolution 249-23, authorizing tax collector to grant tax exemption for a totally disabled veteran.
Need a motion for R 249-23?
Mr. Doyle? Yes. Mrs. Flynn?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Marsh?
Yes.
Mayor Burton?
Yes. That's 49. Resolution 250-23, authorizing tax collector to grant tax exemption for a totally disabled veteran.
Need a motion for R 250-23?
Mr. Doyle? Yes. Mrs. Flynn?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Marsh?
Yes.
Mayor Burton?
Yes. Resolution 251-23, authorizing 2024 state compliance report submission relating to farmland preservation.
Need a motion for R 251-23?
Mr. Doyle? Yes. Mrs. Flynn?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Marsh?
Yes.
Mayor Burton?
Yes. Resolution 252-23, authorizing the change of trust account for payment of title fees for farmland preservation previously authorized under Resolution 71-2023.
Need a motion for R 252-23?
Mr. Doyle? Yes. Mrs. Flynn?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Marsh?
Yes.
Mayor Burton?
Yes. Resolution 253-23, authorizing annual compensation for commissioners of Franklin Fire District Number 2 for 2023.
Need a motion for R 253-23?
Mr. Doyle? Yes. Mrs. Flynn?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Marsh?
Yes.
Mayor Burton?
Yes. Resolution 254-23, authorizing and accepting the updated and revised employee handbook for 2023.
Need a motion for R 254-23?
Mr. Doyle? Yes. Mrs. Flynn?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Marsh?
Yes.
Mayor Burton?
Yes. All right. I'm going to need a motion to introduce the following ordinance. The public hearing will be on December 12th, 2023. And the first was ordinance 1923, amending ordinance 1518, volunteer job description and job classification of police chaplain, and establishing the qualifications for the position.
Need a motion to introduce O 1923?
Mr. Doyle? Yes. Mrs. Flynn?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Marsh?
Yes.
Mayor Burton?
Yes. And the second would be ordinance 2023, amending and replacing rental property registration and licensing of the Township Code regarding the registration and maintenance of rental properties.
Need a motion to introduce O 2023?
Mr. Doyle? Yes. Mrs. Flynn?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Marsh?
Yes.
Mayor Burton?
Yes. And again, that public hearing will be on the December 12th meeting. Can I get a motion to open the second public portion for any comments?
Motion to open the second public portion?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Dave Marshall, 67 New Road, Malaga. Just a couple of questions, and I brought this up at the planning board in reference to the master plan. And maybe you can enlighten me a little bit, Mr. Lyons, but at least from anything I can find of any other town, a master plan group is considered a commission. A commission is a group of people officially charged with a particular function, in this case, of course, revising the master plan. That being said, any of their meetings would have to be held under the Open Public Meeting Act. And I tried to bring it up at the planning board, and there was a little discrepancy on what could or couldn't be covered, and I was hoping I could get a little bit of enlightenment on that, because it'd be nice for the public to be part of this, being it involves all of us.
Matt, I think the question was the subcommittee working on the
Yeah.
framework,
Okay.
not a full.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, any formal action by the planning board or the township committee will have to be done in a public meeting.
I don't think Mr. Marshall was asking about that.
No, it was
Meetings that are being held to
in reference to the master plan.
discuss the master plan, the review committee.
I'd have to know all the parameters of what the review committee is, what has been occurring. I'm not.
Well, nothing as of yet from what they said, but
Yeah, correct. I mean, anything that's going to, again, be officially action taken will occur.
Well, they're not taking action. at that
Right.
point.
Right.
The first goes back to the planning board once they're.
Correct.
That's where the action will be taken. But the actual discussions and.
Work meeting, basically.
Yeah, the workshops.
things that they would be discussing about the possible changes to the master plan.
Again, I think we're talking about two different things. I'm not, whether there's a subcommittee of the planning board or whether there's a formal commission, this is not a formal master plan review commission. So I don't know what, I'm not. Really
So the group that was put together for this doesn't fall under a master plan commission?
I need to get more information. I'm not going to answer that without fully knowing exactly what is transpiring. So I'm not going to. Yeah, I'm going to have to.
Okay.
I can't answer.
Yeah, the surrounding towns, the ones I've discussed with, have once that group is formed, it's considered a commission, and then being it involves the
Again,
residents.
There's no requirement to form that commission. So
No, but it has been formed already.
I don't know that. I'll have to speak to Mr. Borelli, exactly what is occurring. I'm not going to speculate as to what has occurred and give answers based on that. And then some of those premises might not be accurate.
Okay.
So I can't answer.
All right, well, at least it was brought up at their meeting that it had been formed, so that's why
I'll
I'm.
speak to
Yep.
Mr. Borelli.
All right, and that being said, something that I thought about, obviously the Republican Party that ran this year ran on a campaign of transparency and vote column B for no warehouses. So I figure even if they decide to do something with warehousing a master plan, at that point being it was the strong points and the signs that were all over town, we don't have to worry about anything with warehouses being formed anyway. Is that correct?
With the vote no warehouses, the column big signs.
All right.
Those guys all, if any of them was, we took it up with them. We didn't buy or put up anything about warehouses.
All right, so nothing local was about that, so you guys didn't stand for that? All right, so you don't, okay. That's, I wanted to see what you supported and what you didn't.
The day before the election, we popped up on the corners.
Yep.
Counting the signs.
Thank you.
Good evening, Chris Sayers, 184 Malaga Lake Boulevard. I hope you guys all had a.
Maybe he put this on.
What, me? No. Yeah, I put in orange ink, Tim Doyle supports. No. Well, I hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving and congratulations on the election. Heather, maybe next time. Fingers crossed. So I just have, again, some other comments about the Master Plan Commission coming up. I was looking at other townships, kind of how they do it. And I see that a lot of other towns will form a master plan commission and organize subcommittees. They'll receive feedback from stakeholder surveys. They'll ask for public comment via online questionnaires and hold public workshops where residents can learn about and be a part of the process. But in listening to the planning board meeting, some of the members seem like they don't want to hold these meetings very publicly. And even some have commented without public comment. Instead of an open and honest dialogue between the commission and the community, the people seem as though they're going to be muzzled in this process, or at least that's what it looks like from the statements of someone on the commission itself. Look, I mean, again, you people know that it can be uncomfortable when you're questioned by the public. It's not a comfortable position, and I sympathize with that. I understand that. And it's not easy to open yourselves up to a process up for scrutiny. But when you're conducting what is the people's business and seeking first your own personal comfort is not a virtue in that process. And while I don't know if any of you are on the Master Plan Commission or not, I don't know if that's public yet, I ask that you would use your collective weight given to you by thousands of residents who voted for you to advocate for an open process as possible during the Master Plan Commission process. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Good evening, Ray Pistoli, Leopold, 2787 East Grand Avenue. I have been to some of the zoning board meetings, some of your planning board meetings. Recently, I was just at the zoning board meeting. I understand that they're volunteers, but you're supposed to be a volunteer for the interest of our residents. And that last meeting that I was just at, it was along the solar panels, the floating solar panels. There was questions that were asked by the body, which were legitimate questions and good questions. My problem is they asked the questions, but they didn't have any follow-up questions because they didn't do any research. So when you ask a question on electric and water together, obviously, to you, it doesn't make sense. To me, it doesn't make sense. Maybe I have to do some research on it. So if you're on these boards, and Jake, maybe you're right. Some people have been around way too long. So maybe you should relook over them boards and try to change some of them people on them boards. But you should have other answers. I had brought up that Monroe Township, I was at the meeting at Monroe Township when the gentleman said, oh, well, Franklin has the bigger parcel. They said, yes, they do. Our guy said, no, we don't. Well, they didn't table it. They didn't do any research on it. I'm going to do my own research by trying to get a hold of the planning over at Monroe Township or show up on one of the boards, zoning, I'm sorry, to show up one of the boards to find out actually who has the bigger parcel. Because from what I was told, they do. But now we're told we do. So there's no answer. So when you're picking your boards, and yes, I did put in for boards, but when you're picking your boards, and I get the volunteers, one, they have to excuse themselves if they think there's going to be a conflict, and I believe 3 of them on that board have a conflict with that decision, and I'll take it up with you guys off the record. And I think they need to do some research. So when people volunteer for the boards, it's not just volunteer because you're coming to say, hey, I'm here for the, you got to come, you got to do some research, just like you guys do.
The expectation is that they do the research, they look at what is presented to them. We have office personnel cooking that correctly, right? Making packets up for them to actually look at. If they're not looking at it, then that's a problem.
I can't say if they're looking at them or not looking at them. I just think when I said something to them about Monroe, none of them said we spoke to Monroe. None of them did any research with Monroe to find out about. They all said, they all agreed there were safety issues, but they still voted for it. So when something happens, I don't think the township and the taxpayers should be on the hook. The people that voted for it should be on the hook.
Renee, electric and water. Electric and water just not a good combination.
But they voted for it.
Well, they must not know.
They took the word of the professionals on the other side rather than tabling it and getting their own opinion. Or even asking our professionals about it. That's the issue.
Can I get a motion to close the second public portion?
Motion closed.
All in favor?
Aye.
Committee reports. Mike?
This Saturday, the annual Franklin Christmas, we also call the tree lighting, I'm not sure what we're calling it. Christmas at the Center. Recreation Committee does a lot of hard work for that. They are expecting some bad weather. Hopefully we dodge it, not like Community Day. And I also want to congratulate Delsey's state championship this year for football. First one in the history of the school. And from what I hear, it might be the last one. There's one coach, but we don't know. But hopefully it goes out with a bang. Congratulations to Coach Marquez.
Sounds what I heard. That's it. It's not.
Environmental had a few applications to review last night. They did so keep an eye out for those on the planning board. I spoke with Mr. Finley about the status of our Piney Hollow grant. We're still on track and up to par with everything there. For our website, we are continuing to upgrade. You may recall a few meetings ago I asked for feedback on what we can do to add additional space to the website and use that space we're paying for. So we're going to look to add a way for citizens to better identify what fire district they are located in, and then also add additional documentation for citizens to do research. And that's it. Yeah.
Cool. DPW is working on leads. Hopefully we don't get any snowstorms early to screw us up. We're on schedule. We've done on time or time late. What do you think?
I think we're actually doing really well.
We're doing really well. We're right on schedule.
gonna guess yet, and then we'll be done.
I think we'll be done on, as our schedule says, in second week of December.
So far, we're on schedule, hopefully it stays there.
As long as weather doesn't close in on us, we're good.
That's all I have.
Good. No, committee.
No, I'm good.
Matt, you want to talk about shop order time?
Sure. We're doing,
Something else.
we're doing our Holiday with a Hero. Again this year, we have about 68 kids from the Township, Newfield, and Buena Borough. Some of our neediest kids within those 2-3 towns, and also up Township. And we're taking them to Walmart on December 9th. It starts at 8:30. We've got a lot of great donations from a lot of our business owners in town, so I want to thank all of them, and I will recognize them when it's all over. But we're going to be taking those kids shopping on December 9th. We first feed them breakfast at Chamber School, and then we'll take them over to Walmart. So it's a really nice event.
State police and all that over there.
State police will be there, yes. We have about 60 first responders right now, so everyone should get one child to shop with.
Brian, you got anything about public works?
The collection's going well.
We've been hitting the weekend, but we're doing Saturdays and all that.
Yeah, and we did it the first weekend, we did not last weekend, but we're probably going to pick up this weekend
I mean,
also.
I'd rather stay ahead of this than get behind it.
I agree.
They're already out on my street, I'm doing Thursday. Already blocking it the road. Again, like Tim said, they're working hard down there at Public Works. Like Mike said, Christmas is Saturday, get a chance to come by. They really put a lot of time and effort into it. We kind of got cheated this year with Community Day. But it's usually a good turnout. They do a great job. I think you were saying. With that said, can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks for coming out. You too, Bill.